Good morning. We have some breaking news right off the top of Denver 7 News here at 7 o'clock on Local 3. A home explosion in Westminster.
Yeah, this happened about 2:30 this morning, and we're just starting to get a clear look at the damage. Denver 7's Colette Bordelon is live from the neighborhood near Highway 36 and Federal on Knox Court there. Yes, Colette.
Yeah, like you were saying, Nicole, this home that was destroyed, you can see it right here behind me, the remnants of that. You can even see bits of what the furniture might have been, what might have been inside of that home here in Westminster. Like you guys were saying, we're a little bit south of 36 near Federal. That home obviously destroyed. There is damage to the homes surrounding it. Plus, we're told a couple of cars in the area also damaged by the explosion. Xcel Energy, they're out here. They were called out to help cap a gas line that's now sealed. Now, right now, it's not clear exactly if there was anyone in the home at the time of the explosion, so we don't have any reports of injuries right now. If we do get those, that could, of course, change. And as we learn more about what exactly happened, if anyone was inside, we'll bring you those details as quickly as we can. Live in Westminster, Colette Bordelon, Denver 7.
Yeah, all right. Thank you, Colette. Gas turned off to neighbors in the area on a very cold morning because our other big story is this deep freeze that has settled across the Front Range. As we take a live look from Washington Park in the heart of Denver, wind chills are below zero in many places. There is a light layer of snow out there, but really it's the temperatures that are just making it hard to function right now. Let's get to meteorologist Lisa Hidalgo with what we're looking at today.
Yeah, we didn't see anybody on a run or a walk at that moment, but I guarantee there will still be people out there today. But you're right, not only are we below zero when you factor in the winds, but take a look at the temperature change within just the last 24 hours. We're now about 40 degrees colder than where we were at the same time yesterday. We were hitting 40s early yesterday morning, and then that cold front raced through right at midday and brought some snow. We've also got a bit of snow that hit spots like Fort Collins and Greeley this morning. Now you're under some cloud cover. We also have a bit more there to the south of the Springs toward Pueblo there over I-25. So we're going to continue to see a chance for some snow rolling east throughout the day. Right now, though, 3 below in Denver. Yesterday, City Park, you saw a lot of grass. Now it is again snow covered. It feels like 22 here in Denver. Here's what we're looking at for a warm up. Our hourly planner still just single digits by early afternoon. Highs are going to be right around 10 degrees today and then cold again tonight. We'll take a look at when we get out of this Arctic blast coming up in just a few minutes.
And that will really start to improve the roadway conditions. I think as soon as we start to see some more traffic on some of the roadways, we'll start to improve some of the road conditions. This is up in Fort Collins at College and Prospect. You can see how snow covered it is up there. Parking lots, sidewalks, bike lanes are all going to be snow covered in pretty slick conditions, stopping at some of these intersections. Take a look at the quad split where you can see the conditions up in Boulder, the drive up through Erie at I-25 and Highway 7, the drive on I-70 out by Sheridan and Harlan, and then you can see 270 getting busy across Commerce City. So the slower traffic is reflected on the drive times right now with I-25 down through 84th Avenue. There's 270, I-70 through that lowered section is a couple extra minutes, and the same thing across parts of 225. So the side roads obviously are going to be worse off than the highways, and the neighborhood roads are obviously going to be worse than some of the major roads. So just be careful out there, especially through some of those intersections.
Well, and the freezing temperatures are going to be sticking around for several days.
Yeah.
That's the real shock to the system here. It's cold enough to be a health hazard.
Denver 7's Katie LaSalle joins us this morning. So important, and we see you all layered up, but it's so important to stay covered up out there.
Is Brian, Nicole, good morning to you. I'm at Washington Park and it is 0 degrees, and you combine that with the wind sustained from the northeast around 5 to even 10 miles per hour at a time. As Lisa was mentioning, it makes those wind chill values feel well below zero, which could be dangerous for our health. I was counting though. I've already seen 10 walkers, joggers / runners, plus a lot of people out here walking their dogs at Wash Park. They're obviously bundled up. I counted, I have 5 layers on underneath my coat. But we really wanted to talk about the potential for frostbite. When you're outside and you have exposed skin for more than 30 minutes and it is below zero, you could be exposed to frostbite. And we talked to Dr. Eric Hill at this Aurora Medical Center about more.
Frostbite injuries are typically in the fingers and toes, those kind of things. And they're typically in areas that are exposed to cold temperatures for prolonged periods of times, or if those clothing is wet. If it's wet and cold, much more risk for getting frostbite.
Yeah, and the snow is lightly falling at this hour. You'll notice it as soon as you step out the door, but definitely protect yourself and protect your kids. Wear as many clothes as you can, and definitely just take it easy and stay warm today. For coming up here at 7:30, I'll have more on ways to protect your pets through this cold stretch of weather. Reporting live at Washington Park, Katie LaSalle, back to you.
All right, so important. Thank you, Katie. Well, the cold temperatures are incredibly dangerous for people living on the streets that brave the elements on a daily basis. So a local shelter is making sure they have a warm place to stay. The Salvation Army's Crossroads Center is expanding capacity this week. Usually there's room for 300 men to have a bed, but because of the frigid temps, the center has bumped up capacity by 80 more beds, and they're also welcoming anyone inside to keep warm, even if the beds are taken. The Denver Metro Social Services Director with the Salvation Army says there are a couple of ways that we can help our homeless neighbors with the cold temperatures over the next couple days.
If somebody is walking down the street and sees somebody who is of concern, even if they don't feel comfortable reaching out to that person to urge them to go in a shelter, have them reach out to the police or to the STAR program, which can be accessed through 911. It's very important. And somebody can fall asleep and very easily not wake up due to this weather.
Crossroads is a men's center. Catholic Charities serves women, and the Urban Peak Shelter serves teenagers. Both are also expanding capacity over the next couple days. Denver police officers and members of Denver's STAR team will also be going around asking people if they need a ride to one of the shelters.
Well, low temperatures mean higher energy bills. Xcel has some tips to help you, though. Set your thermostat to 58 degrees when you're not at home. Make sure you have a clean filters in your furnace so it doesn't have to work as hard. And turning down your water heater can save 3 to 5% on those costs. A long cold streak like this is often when we see pipes break. One local plumber says you should open the cabinets under your sinks to let warm air in and also let your faucets drip a bit.
If your home's a little bit older as well and you've had problems with freezing in the past, then a good little trick you can do is leave your water dripping in your faucets, throughout the house, because water that's moving won't freeze.
Yeah, he also recommends taking a quick walk around your house outside and making sure all of your hoses are disconnected from the house.
And a reminder, you can track conditions for your neighborhood anytime by downloading the free Denver 7 Plus app for your cell phone or your streaming device. We have a 24/7 weather stream there, also an interactive radar and an hour-by-hour forecast. You can download it to Roku, Amazon, Apple, or Android devices. Also, this morning, family and friends are mourning the loss of 5 people who died from a lethal dose of fentanyl.
Fentanyl's no good, man. It's the devil. It must have just took him just like that.
The victims range in age from 24 to 32 years old. Dan Mark has talked with us from his porch in North Denver. He still can't believe what happened. His son, Sam, is one of the 5 people who died from fentanyl poisoning. He also lost a daughter-in-law and a son-in-law.
Dan believes the group thought they were...
Sam, he's a good guy. He's 24, loved his job, always talking about his job, talking about his new daughter. He loved his daughter. Said that's the new love of my life.
And his son's newborn daughter, who he referred to there, was in the bedroom of the apartment at the time. A 6th adult also survived. But here's some perspective on what a deadly dose of fentanyl looks like. Just the tiny amount on the bottom right of your screen next to the penny can kill you. Fentanyl is a synthetic opioid commonly used after surgeries.
Just moments ago, the jury resumed deliberations in the federal hate crimes trials against the 3 men convicted of killing Ahmaud Arbery in Georgia. The trial is to decide if the men killed Arbery because of the color of his skin. And the trial against 3 former Minneapolis police officers is heading to closing arguments. The 3 are accused of violating George Floyd's civil rights. Thomas Lane was the final officer to testify in his own defense. He said he didn't realize how dire Floyd's condition was until paramedics took over. Floyd was handcuffed face down on the street with former officer Derek Chauvin's knee pressed against his neck for 9.5 minutes. The judge and attorneys say closing arguments could take all day.
Denver is ranked among the hardest working cities in the country. Where we measure up and which city topped the list.
And major developments overnight in the Ukraine border crisis. Actions from the Kremlin could create a path for Vladimir Putin and his troops to move into even more territory.